If you were like me and had unsupervised access to the internet throughout the 2000s, then it's very likely that while you were innocently scrolling through a website or watching a video, you were shown an image that made you quickly turn the family computer off. Today we'll be going over a collection of these disturbing internet images from over the years and finding the interesting origins of where they come from. I know this topic has been done quite a few times, so I included some more obscure images that personally traumatized me over the years and maybe even used to scare you as well. Our first image is actually the image that made me want to create this video in the first place. This image of a human girl mixed with what looks to be a rat has been around the internet for almost decades now. I remember seeing it several times when I would be searching for something completely unrelated on Google Images in the late 2000s. It was also used in a ton of creepy, absurd YouTube videos from the late 2000s as well, when YouTube was in its more Wild West screamer era. So where does this image come from? Is it a Photoshop of an animal? Or could it be a real creature? Well, first things first, plugging it into a reverse image search website like TinEyes tells us that the first instance of this image on the internet allegedly comes from a French image board called Skyrock, or sometimes referred to as Skyblog, on February 5th, 2008. This would be a complete dead end, as the image board gives no further information, but thankfully I remembered a video from YouTube that was pretty popular and used the rat girl image in it. This video was uploaded on December 3rd, 2007, which is 2 whole months before TinEyes logged the first instance of the image. The video was uploaded by an account titled Habib XXX, with the title in Arabic translating to, "Is this a human or an animal?" The video has 51 million views, despite the video being a completely silent 45-second clip that just shows the rat girl image and then the logo to a website at the end. Now, I was very confused as to why this video has 51 million views, so I started to look through the comments and it gave me a bit more insight. Looking through and translating the comments on the video, I was seeing a ton of comments that were sharing a similar story that sort of served as a background to the image. This urban legend has a few different variations from what I was seeing, but the general idea is that it consists of a young girl who was being read the Quran by her mother. The young girl was then upset with her mother and damaged the Quran in some way, either by stomping on it or throwing it at the wall. It really depends what retelling of the story you're hearing. I've seen one where she flushes it down the toilet. After the young girl damages the Quran in her fit, she's then turned into this rat-like creature by Allah for retribution. After reading through all these comments, I decided to look more into this urban legend, and I found a ton more chainmail and other forum posts spreading this same urban legend about a rat girl cursed by Allah. I had no idea that this image traumatized a large portion of Muslim kids growing up in the 2000s. I thought it was just another screamer image from the old era of the internet. I had no idea this urban legend was tied to this image in any way. After I was searching into the urban legend, I came to the Museum of Hoaxes website, which pretty much answered the rest of my questions involving the image. A short while after the hoax was spreading rapidly throughout the internet, the original creator of the rat girl image would step forward with a message and with these images. The creator of the rat girl image is Australian artist and sculptor Patricia Piccinini, who is well known for her creepy, fleshy, realistic sculptures. In 2003, she created the art exhibit called Leather Landscape, which included this little familiar creature. Like I said, Patricia came out in 2008 with a blog post and disavowed any knowledge of the hoax, and even expressed sympathy for anyone who was disturbed by it. She claims that the image was taken from her website and edited without her permission or knowledge before being used to scare me and a bunch of other internet users from the time. I'll leave this entry off with a quote that I saw on the Museum of Hoaxes website that I thought was pretty interesting. If the punishment for kicking or throwing the Quran is to be transformed into an animal, then what's the punishment for making bizarre stuff up to scare people?
He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? I'm out of here.
This image is a bit more niche, and as you'll come to find out, has a lot more mystery shrouded around its origins than the other images in this video. The photo, which I've dubbed Realistic Squidward, was a popular image that was used in different image boards and creepy videos, usually from the late 2000s and early 2010s. The two most well-known versions of this image are the full image, consisting of Squidward with a knife standing in front of what I assume to be Patrick, and a secondary version where it's zoomed in just to show Squidward's head. I remember first seeing this image from a video called Scary Squidward all the way back in 2011. The video and most other videos that contain this image just consisted of the full version of the image, slowly zooming in with creepy ambiance playing in the background. Sometimes the image would be used in older videos relating to the Squidward creepypasta, which was a popular creepypasta from back in the day that also involved Squidward. However, the realistic Squidward image has no connection to the creepypasta, except for both of them being Squidward horror. More recently, I remember the image being created into a Gmod Nextbot when that whole trend was happening, and I've seen a couple memes using the image, except this version has black eyes with red pupils. This version is not the original, however, and it's just an edited adaptation. To begin searching for the origins of the image, I first ran both versions of the image through TinEyes. The oldest instance I could find of the image was from a post from a Newgrounds user from April of 2008. The Newgrounds post was the user showing that the image was their desktop background, so I'm pretty sure they're not the original creator of the image, and there's for sure an instance of it existing on the internet before this. I tried very, very hard using all of Google's search engine features to find anything else about this image's origins, but I just could not find much more. All I could find were reposts of the images and a ton of creepypasta stories using the image, such as Squidward loses it. I did find one other person who attempted to find the origins by asking Reddit, but the post did not receive many comments, and the comments that were left unfortunately weren't very helpful or contained information that I already had. I decided to ask a few different subreddits for help, and as of right now I haven't received much help either in my search. I think my leading theory is that the image is someone's 3D rendered fan art that was posted sometime in early 2008 to an art sharing website, such as DeviantArt for example. I think that the original post was deleted, or the website that it was posted to was deleted. And unfortunately, that's pretty much all I could find. If anyone has any sightings or any more information about the origins of the image, please let me know in the comments because this one has me completely lost. Sorry for this one, but I wanted to include a more recently popularized image, and it's definitely also the creepiest image we'll be covering in this video. There's a good chance that you've seen this photo, or at least the face in the photo before, as it was featured on the popular analog horror series, The Mandela Catalog, back in 2021. The version featured in the Mandela Catalog was just the face, but there's a ton of different versions of the image where the face is edited into dark bedroom settings, such as this one. I've also seen the face used in different Roblox horror games, and I pretty much just associate it with 2020's internet horror. So where does the creepy face in the image come from? A user on Reddit asked the same question back in 2021 on the r/Mandela Catalog subreddit, and a lot of the replies were claiming that it's a still from one of the Grudge movies. I could see why people would think this, because if you compare the face in the image to the face of the Grudge girl, they have a lot of similarities, especially this still from the original Japanese version where her mouth is hanging open. While there are some similarities, it's still clear that the face from the Mandela Catalog image is much different and almost seems more fake or uncanny than an actress playing a character. The fact that the face is art instead of an actual person makes it a lot more difficult to find the origins because we have to find the original post or the artist instead of an actual person. Since the image is edited to be darker to accompany the setting that it's edited on top of, turning the brightness up on the image and then running it through a reverse image search actually gives us more answers. The reverse image search shows the first instance of the face being on January 7th, 2013 from a post on DeviantArt. The post was created by user Wolfie the Fox and is their original art of the Grudge Ghost, so technically those people claiming that it was from the Grudge series weren't completely wrong. So this drawing was taken and then slightly edited to be pasted on top of this background to make up the image that we're all familiar with. I think it's pretty crazy that a drawing or post you made from over a decade ago could be repurposed into something that's used to traumatize a bunch of people without you even knowing. If you were into creepypastas or just scary content from the early 2010s, then there's a really good chance that you've seen this image of a dark room with a shadowy figure peering straight over the camera with a pale white face and dark holes for eyes. This image is most associated with the popular creepypasta Eyeless Jack. However, the image's origins predate the creepypasta by quite some time. Why am I covering such a well-known image? Because my name is also Jack, and this image used to make me not want to use the bathroom at night, okay? So if not for the creepypasta, what was the first instance of the Eyeless Jack photo on the internet? The first instances of the photo seem to be from early 2010, with it being featured on many different image boards, most notably on 4chan, where it was posted by a user named Arnon to a thread titled Nightmare Fuel. This thread contained a bunch of different scary video game characters, and also contained the Eyeless Jack photo right in the middle. As soon as the image hit the internet, it was spread all over, with many people using it for their own scary content, but it wasn't until February 2012 when it would become massively popular, as creepypasta wiki user AZL5000 would use the image to go along with his Eyeless Jack creepypasta story. If you're unfamiliar with the original creepypasta, it's told in a first-person point of view from a man named Mitch, who lives in Canada with his brother Edwin. One morning, Mitch wakes up with a large gash on his cheek. After visiting the hospital, the doctors reveal that Mitch's left kidney has been surgically removed. In the middle of the next night, Mitch wakes to see Eyeless Jack over his bed from the same perspective as the image shows. Mitch escapes into the woods behind his house, where he trips and is knocked unconscious. Mitch wakes up in the hospital, where it's revealed to him that his brother Edwin was killed the previous night. When Mitch returns home, he sees Edwin's the small object next to it. The object is his kidney, covered in a black substance with a bite taken out of it. There's been a ton of retellings and sequels to the story that basically give Eyeless Jack more lore and a full backstory as well. His backstory is that he was a normal college-age student living in Canada when he was abducted by a cult and used in a brutal sacrifice, which included the removal of his eyes. The creepypasta wiki reads, "The sacrifice failed, however, resulting in the ritual accidentally turning Jack into the eldritch kidney-eating monster that he is now." Sorry, the story's a little silly. At this point, despite it being one of the most popular creepypastas of its time, the origins of the image were still a complete mystery and would stay that way for several years. It wasn't until February 16, 2020, when a Twitter user from the UK named Pirate Cashew came out and claimed that he created the original Eyeless Jack photo. Pirate Cashew was an artist on Twitter with a decently sized following, and he made a post reading, "My friend took it and uploaded it anonymously, and someone took that and used it for Eyeless Jack. I did not find out about it until like a couple years ago." If anyone was skeptical about this claim, he shut all that down in the same exact post by also saying, "This is the unblurred background version to prove it, never been posted before." If you've ever seen this image and you had a basement in your home like I did growing up, then this image was for sure popping up in your head every single time you saw those basement stairs. The image, which I'll call Werewolf on Stairs, was pretty popular in the early 2010s and was featured on a ton of different clickbaity scary videos on YouTube. The image itself is pretty scary at a glance, but one thing I've surprisingly never noticed until I started researching this video is the clear human hands that the werewolf has. On my own, I couldn't find a popular first sighting of the image on the internet, so I logged it into a reverse image search and found the first sightings to be from November of 2012, with one of the first popular sightings being from a Reddit post from r/WTF that contains the image with text reading, "You see this coming up your stairs, what would you do?" The OP of this post claimed that they created the image, but with no further proof. Throughout the thousands of comments on the post, we had no more to go off of for where the image initially came from, as all of the commenters were just answering the post question, such as this guy. The search for the image would be dead for a while, and the image would be sporadically used for different scary content on the internet for the following years. That was until 2023, where a now deleted user on r/helpmefind would leave a comment severely helping the search for the origins of the image. The user first found the original instance of the image from a post on DeviantArt from October 19th, 2012, just weeks before the image blew up in other spaces on the internet. The post was created by a user named Smogteeth, who, if we look at their DeviantArt account, they post many different spooky decorations and masks that they create and sell. The werewolf mask or costume isn't present on Smogteeth's DeviantArt account right now. However, using the Wayback Machine, we're able to find a DeviantArt post on Smogteeth's page from October 2012 of them modeling the exact werewolf mask from the stairs image. According to a link left on the post and some other comments, they also had the mask up for auction, but I wasn't able to see how much the mask sold for. Just know that someone else is out there that bears this mask and could be at your basement stairs, but realistically it's probably just someone's persona now. If you've been around the channel for a while, you might have seen my Disturbing Flash Games Iceberg video. In this video I spoke about a Scooby Doo Flash game from 2004 that was a point-and-click mystery game created to promote the Scooby Doo movie that was releasing the same year. The game itself isn't scary as it was made for children, however it earned a place on that iceberg because of a terrifying screamer jump scare that can occur while you're playing. During the Egypt section of the game, you're able to open a tomb's lid using an item that you picked up earlier. When you open the tomb, very small text will appear reading, "Please, haven't much time, someone's coming, need help before." As you inevitably get close to your monitor to read the text, this will happen. It still isn't really clear why this isn't a children's Flash game. There's been some speculation, but I think the most likely answer is that this was during a time where internet screamers were reaching peak popularity, and this game wanted to hop on the trend. There's even a Garfield Flash game that released a bit before this game that included a similar jump scare. Most people look back on this and trauma bond about how scared it made them as a kid, but some people started to speculate where this eerie image even comes from. The image is pretty realistic and doesn't seem like something the developers just drew up for the game, even though the developers are pretty sadistic for putting this screamer in a kid's game, but the image still has no correlation to the game or really any art style similarities. A Reddit user from r/creepygaming commented on a post regarding the jump scare and claimed that the image is a Photoshop version of the pharaoh Sekenenre Tao's mummy. If you compare the mummy's image to the screamer image, it won't take long to see the similarities, as looking at the bottom half, the teeth and nose are the exact same, and the game's version just has green googly eyes pasted over the top half. I guess the developers wanted to use a mummy for the screamer since it occurs in the Egypt portion of the game, but this means that the devs used a real-life mummified corpse as a jump scare in their game for kids. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. Do you have a story from when you saw these images, or was there a disturbing image that you remember and want me to find the origin of? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to make a part 2 and potentially make this a series if you guys enjoyed it, so please let me know if you'd be interested in that. I know it's a bit different from my iceberg content, but I'd love to have some more shorter series so I can get videos out to you all faster because those hour-long icebergs take so long to make. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel, and have yourselves a damn good one.